Hey everybody, it's your girl Bondy Blue, and I want you to check out Bondy's Boutique and get some of my merch, y'all. I've added some new things like my mermaid cups and the mermaid tees, and also the Shake Them Tits mugs. All right, you asked for it and you got it. Check out Bondy's merch at Bondy's Boutique. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another review, recap, whatever, of This Is Us, you guys. This episode was affectionately titled R&B, okay? And there was a whole bunch of good R&B all through the episode. Baby, when they broke out with that, we ain't not no young girl, we might well do it. Girl, you are the one girl, I must confess. Let's get married. I don't know why, y'all, but whenever I hear that song, all I can hear is the remix in my head. What's going on all across the seas? It ain't nothing, I ain't frontin', shorty coming with me. Now I done already gave you the keys to the man. Like, I'm sorry, y'all, Run DMC, okay? Y'all. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode starts off where the last one left off, which was with Beth and Randall deciding that, oh, you want to do this now? Okay, let's do this now. Shut the door, okay? So y'all know last episode, Randall thought that Beth was going to leave him hanging for that dinner. And Beth wants to know when. When has she ever left Randall hanging? She's always shown up. He's just mad that she won't give up dance. She won't give up her life so that he can do his thing, which is something she's always done. And then he says, I've been killing myself. I've been trying to do everything I can so that you can have your life. She says that they've been having the same fight since they got together, y'all. And that's when we go back to the beginning, all right? So now we have to find out how the Beth and Randall story happened. And y'all, I gotta tell y'all, I've been waiting a long time for this episode. Is it just me? I've been waiting a very long time to get to the rooter to the tutor of how Beth and Randall got together, y'all. So we go back to when they met in college, and how Randall was so in love with Beth and wanted to ask her out, but y'all know that he was a little scurry, okay? He was a little scurry. So he really didn't know how to go about asking her out. So they have this scene where he calls Kevin on the phone. He has Kevin on one phone and has Beth on the other phone listening to Kevin, so Kevin can tell him what to say to Beth to ask her out on a date. And she says yes, she will go out with him. So they go out on this first date, and he has sunflowers for her because he didn't know what type of flowers she would like. He had so many other bouquets that he bought, but decided to give her the sunflowers. She got on a sweatshirt and a skirt or something like that, like regular college girl clothes, while he has on a full tie and suit jacket and pant and white shirt, and they're at this fancy restaurant full of old white folks. And they're having this conversation about, you know, their lives. Basically talking about how Randall is adopted. It's hard to sneak that into a conversation on the first date. But then they talk about how he lost his father, and she says that she lost hers. And you can see that when he talked about him losing his father, that was something that she felt like they connected on. But then here comes the waiter. Racist. I almost feel like the waiter didn't even want to do this, but it's his job. So he goes up to them and he's like, well, we're gonna need y'all to pay for y'all bill before we feed y'all. And Randall is like, oh, of course, of course. So Randall pulls out a checkbook. I said, no, nigga, not a checkbook. Didn't they have ATM card? They didn't have debit card. I know they had debit cards in 1999. I know they did. Y'all, anyway. So he's trying to pay them, and Beth is like, no. Did you ask anybody else to pay their bill? Talking about it's a policy? We are not eating here. Let's go. So she gets her flowers and gets up and walks away. And Randall's running behind her in the restaurant. Beth, wait, Beth, wait. So, you know, they're standing in the atrium. That's what you call it, the entryway of the restaurant. And she's like, this is just way too much, Randall. Do you want to know what my dream date is? It's nachos and ginger beer. Okay, this is way too much. Look at you. You got on that hot ass jacket. You not hot? He was like, well, I am hot. She was like, then take off the stupid jacket. And he's like, look, man, this jacket ain't stupid, okay? I wore something nice because I wanted you to have the best date that I could possibly give you. Like, let her know that she deserves to have everything. She deserves the world, which is why he was trying to go all the way out for her. But she was like, this is just way too much, Randall. And then he almost gets into how he he doesn't want to argue with her. This is kind of like the big argument he heard his parents had, because he didn't grow up with his parents arguing except for that one big argument. And we're going to see that one big argument later on in the episode, okay? But I'm just telling y'all that because that links to what happened at the end. But either way, she was like, this is too much, Randall. You're too much. I just can't. And she was like, you're a nice guy, Randall, but don't call me again. Randall, I don't know what Randall heard, but Randall went home with a smile on his face and told his roommate that he was gonna marry her. I'm gonna kill that nigga and I'm gonna marry her. Y'all, if y'all don't know that reference, my bad. But anyway, so then we fast forward, you know, because she went home that night and looked at her flowers and smiled. And, you know, Randall always knows the right thing to say, okay? So we fast forward to him proposing to the umpteenth time to Jagged Edge, let's get married, okay? He came out with the swerve and everything, and I was just like, no, Randall, not with the swerve. Y'all, it was too funny, all right? He apparently has proposed to her numerous times, and every time she says, not yet, not yet, not yet. She does not want to get married yet because she wants to find her place in this world before she does so. Now, they're supposed to be going over to Rebecca's to have Sunday dinner. They go over to her house every week, and she's like, why don't we go miniature golfing instead? I think she was trying to get away from having Sunday dinner with his mom because of the way Randall and his mom's relationship is. But instead, they end up inviting her to miniature golfing. And it's just really uncomfortable for Beth. So Beth is like, hey, Rebecca, are you seeing anybody? She was like, no. She was like, well, I have this professor who just got divorced. And Rebecca's like, okay, I'm all right. The only thing I'm worrying about is my children finding the right, you know, people for them to be with. And maybe Randall will finally get one of his proposals answered. Wink, wink, okay? And when Beth realizes that Randall has told Rebecca about every single time that he's proposed to Beth, she gets upset. And then Rebecca tries to kind of, you know, get in a conversation. And Beth is like, well, I'm trying to have a private conversation with Randall right now. Rebecca, please back up. This is not normal, all right? And she was like, I don't want to get married yet because I don't want to be consumed by my husband. And Randall, you consume things. Randall said, okay, well, you ain't got to ever worry about me proposing to you again. I'm going to the car. I'll see y'all when y'all get there. All right, so Beth goes to sit on the bench, and Rebecca comes and sits next to her. And she apologizes to Rebecca for the way she talked to her. Rebecca is like, girl, please, I don't want my son to marry some wallflower, okay? It's fine. But you will never have to worry about losing yourself in Randall because he won't let that happen. And she tells a story about how when he was 11 years old, he had a full-on panic attack while they were stargazing because he kind of got a hint that he was this very small thing in the universe and he didn't know where he fit. But 7 years ago, when he got with Beth, he called Rebecca and said that he didn't have that fear anymore. She makes him feel safe. She makes him feel like he has a place in this world. And that is why he would never let her lose herself in him, which makes Beth feel more comfortable. So now Beth runs to the car, says, Randall, I want to take you somewhere. Let's go. He's like, what about my mom? And she was like, forget your mom. Her words, not mine. I'm like, you know, you got to say that. You got to say that because nigga be upset you disrespect their mom, okay? So they go to her little favorite, it seemed like a, you know, Jamaican restaurant to get nachos and ginger beer. Baby, okay, that's being lyric right there. He loved nachos and I love me. We both love some ginger beer. I like nachos too, but that ginger beer looks some good. When she was drinking that, I was like, damn, bitch, that's all I want. Because, you know, I can't eat or drink none of that shit right now. So I'm just sitting up there like, yo, I can't, let me tell you something. I can't stand Pizza Hut. When I was watching this show last night, I was watching it on regular cable, and every chance they get, they put up a fucking Pizza Hut commercial and then break into the pizza calzone and all of the cheese and the pepperoni and the tomato sauce. I'm sorry, I'm getting beside myself. But they sit down, she takes a bite of the nacho, she drinks some of the ginger beer, and she's like, okay, this is my favorite meal. You're my favorite person. Ask me again. And she think he don't have the ring, but he was like, child, please, the doors on our front door at our apartment hardly locked. You think I'm gonna leave this ring there? So he pulls out the ring, he gets down on one knee, and he proposes again. And this time she's getting all teary-eyed, and she says yes this time. So now they're engaged finally after the umpteenth time of him asking. She does make him agree that they're going to be equals and that they're going to be a team though before he proposed, which reminds me that this has always been something she's worried about throughout their relationship, is that everything will be on her in one way or another. And y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, like, I understood this so much. Like, when you are a woman who wants her own things, her own life, her own career, you 9 times out of 10 end up with men who either want that same thing or they don't, and they leech off of you. But even if they don't leech off of you, you still end up being the person that has to do double the work. And what I mean is, they get to just go to work and come home and do the little things that they're supposed to do or they're asked to do, but you have to tell them these things. You have to make them know that these are the things you expect for them to do. You, on the other hand, have to work your job, come home, deal with your household, deal with your children if you have them. You know, you have to be on top of them. You have to be on top of yourself. You always have more responsibility, more of the stress on you than they have on them when you're a woman like Beth. And I'm a woman like Beth, so I recognize this so much, y'all, and I totally understood where she was coming from, because it's like at some point you feel like, damn, when is it gonna be my turn? When is it gonna be my turn? Like, that's how you feel, and that's how Beth feels. So we fast forward to the wedding day, and we see them, you know, about to get married. They're both in their brand new huge house. They're getting married in the backyard. Kevin and Kate are there. Kate is the only bride. Well, she's the second bridesmaid, whatever the fuck. I feel like some people been saying it wrong so long I done fucked it up. I don't know what it is no more. And Zoe is there, and then Kevin is there to be his you know, groomsman. And they're upstairs in respective bathrooms trying to get themselves together, and Beth is writing her vows on the spot because she didn't have time, because there were so many last minute things that came up with the wedding that she had to handle. And Randall was out here writing a dissertation on love, okay, citing Prince albums and what love is in the dictionary. It was just ridiculous. He wrote like 12 pages of vows for her, and Kevin is like, you cannot get out there and read this to her. This is way too much. So as soon as Beth has figured out what she wants to say, now Randall wants to improvise and figure out what he's gonna say, because he's written way too much shit and none of it is about Beth. So Beth goes into the bathroom and she has her eyes closed and he has his eyes closed, and they kind of stand back to back and say that they're going to figure out the vows together because they are best when they work together. And y'all, in that moment, standing back to back, getting their vows together was such a beautiful moment. And he says that she is all he needs, y'all. And that instantly put me in the, you're all I need to get by. You're all like sweet morning dew. I took one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny. With arms open wide, I threw away my pride. I'll sacrifice for you, dedicate my life to you. Y'all, look, don't get me into it with the Marvin Gaye, Terry Terrell, bitch. Don't make me do it. Anyway, so yeah, y'all, he said that she was all he needed in life. Beth says that Randall is the best thing she's ever done in her life. She's never been loved and seen and protected the way she has with Randall. Y'all, it was beautiful. They both cried. I mean, it was a beautiful wedding. Everybody had a good time. And then we fast forward to when they had their first baby. And it's 3 a.m. and Randall has to go to work in 4 hours. And Beth is on maternity leave. And Randall is trying to change the baby's diaper, and Beth comes in and wants to take over because he's using the wrong wipes and all of this, and they have like this little argument out of pure exhaustion. And then they go in the kitchen to eat some nachos. Okay, they go and eat nachos and talk about what the worst case scenario would be with their daughter. And, you know, Randall says, oh, if she's covered in tattoos. And Beth says, you know, oh, if she can't dance or she doesn't have rhythm. And then Beth says that another worst case scenario would be if she forgot her once she went back to work, once she was off maternity leave. And Randall was like, that won't happen, we'll work it out. And Beth is like, what that means is I'm gonna have to work it out. And he was like, what is that supposed to mean? And then she goes into how she has a theory about nachos. There are the crumbs, the salty crumbs that stick to your fingers that have no cheese on them at the bottom of the bowl. Nobody wants that. Then you have the broken chips that have no smooth edges, a little bit of cheese on them. They're better. But then you have the whole nacho with a whole bunch of cheese, unbroken. You know, that's the best part. And Randall, even though he will make the nachos and she loves him for it, Randall always goes for the big pieces with all of the cheese on it. And so does she. But he goes for him and he doesn't even realize that all he leaves her with are the crumbs. And she shows him the bowl full of just that, the broken ones and the crumbs. And he's like, I'll never eat nachos again. And see, this is another example of when she tells him that he's doing too much, and instead of him listening to her and understanding where she's coming from, he completely, you know, jumps off the edge with it and then goes to the extreme. Well, I'll never eat nachos again. Just like he said, he'll never propose again. Like, it's always him with his feelings hurt, jumping off the edge, not allowing her to be able to say what's really on her mind without fear of him, you know, tunneling down to the ground. So she says, never mind, they go to bed. So we fast forward to before William died. And Kevin's living downstairs, making all his demands. And William's living upstairs in the bedroom. And they're in the house. And it's full of laughter and joy. But you can tell that it's too much. And Beth is tired. And Beth has like a little conference to go to for 24 hours. And she tells Randall he has to pick up their daughter. So Randall and William go to pick up the daughter some hours later, and they stop at the grocery store so they can get some syrup. And Randall sees Beth in the grocery store picking up her favorite candy and a bottle of wine, and he instantly is like, so you mean to tell me you going to a hotel to eat candy and watch movies and drink a bottle of wine by yourself? Is that what you doing? Why would you lie about it? And she was like, I lied because I just needed time to myself. I just needed to not be a mom or a caretaker or a wife. I just needed to be a woman lying in a bed watching reruns of Living Single on her fucking iPad. Like, that's all I wanted. Okay? And he's like, well, why wouldn't you just say something? And she was like, I have said something. I've said something, but whenever I do say something, then it's an all-day argument with me having to prove to you that nothing is really wrong. And by the end of the day, I'm too tired and I wouldn't even stay awake for one episode of Living Single. And he's like, all right, I'm sorry, I understand. You go ahead and have your day alone. But then when he walks away, he turns back around and he's like, so what episode are you gonna start on? And she says the episode when Kyle and Maxine wake up after you know, spending the night together, and they're in the lazy boy freaking out, and then he jokes about how Overton found Max's pump, and then he was like, to believe I drank from this. Y'all, I think that was the last episode of season 1. So like episode 22 season 1, and I know because I watch Living Single on my Hulu all the time. Okay, y'all, I love how authentic they are to what 90s, you know, growing up 90s black folks was about. Okay, we about Lauryn Hill, TLC posters. In the early 2000s, we was about Jagged Edge. Okay, and right now as grown black people, we're into watching our favorite shows of the 90s, which was Living Single and Martin and shit. So I was just too tickled because I was like, I know which episode that is. But either way, while they're laughing about, you know, how nasty it was for Kyle to drink out of Max's pump, okay, disgusting that was, she realizes that she doesn't want to wash it without him. So she changes her mind and decides to go back, and she's like, okay, well, tell William the syrup he likes is on this aisle, and get the toilet paper that Kevin likes, it's lavender scented, whatever. I'm like, where is there lavender scented toilet paper? What am I doing with my life if I don't know that there's lavender scented toilet paper somewhere? Like, that doesn't come in Charmin. Like, I was just like, oh, I'm mad that I don't know about that. So after that, it's just another example of when Beth needed something, and it wasn't that Randall was stopping her from doing it, but he has a way of making her feel bad about it, have a way of making her feel like she would rather be with him anyway. Like, I understand what Beth goes through in her mind about some of these things, you know. So she decides anyway to just go on back home. So we fast forward back to present day, and they're still in the heat of this argument, and she's saying that we've been having this same fight, and what do? You sweet talk me just like you do everybody else, and then I'm eating out of the palm of your hand. Beth wants Randall to admit that he doesn't think that her job is as important as his job. And Randall is having this moment where he's having flashbacks of that argument. Remember at the beginning I said that he was talking about that one big argument that Rebecca and Jack had, and it was about her singing in the clubs and her ex was there, and he was trying to act like that's what he was upset about, but Rebecca actually felt like he was upset because he didn't want her to have a career. And then he tells her that a 40-year-old woman singing in pubs is not a career, which is similar to him saying that Beth ain't doing nothing but teaching a bunch of bored house moms how to twirl. So it's similar, so you know, it's the same argument basically. And Beth goes over all the things she does to make him happy over the years, all the times that she has changed her life or fit herself and her schedule to his whims. And now she has something that she's been looking for longer than she can remember. And their lives don't work unless she's the one doing the bending, and she's not bending. She tells him not to look for the right words to say because she will end up eating out of the palm of his hand, just like she had already said. Randall says, in what revisionary reality or in what fake reality was she some wallflower where he just steamrolled over her? He said he refuses to be to blame because she just now finding out what she wanted to do. If she had figured out in the past 20 years that she wanted to go back to dance, she could have done that at any time. And she said, when would I have done that, Randall? In between which one of your panic attacks? When she said that, I was like, low blow. Low blow. Oh Lord, somebody time out. Like, I was just like, oh no, not the panic attacks, don't go there with him. And the look on his face, y'all, he was hurt. So he walks away and she's like, I'm sorry, Randall, where are you going? And he's like, I'm going to Philly because I don't want to be in this house with you. And lucky for you, I'm out of speeches because she, you know, talked about all the speeches he gives that changes her mind every time. So he leaves and goes and spend the night in Philly, and she's sleeping on a sofa in their bedroom, staring at her bed with a tissue in her hand. And y'all, I'm just like, no, Beth and Randall, you have to work it out. You have to work it out. Like, I really feel like Randall need to quit. I need to quit this whole situation. I know that's what you thought you was supposed to do and all of that, but I don't know what they gonna have to do, but they gonna need some help. I mean, I feel like little Deja been a latchkey kid her whole fucking life. Why she can't, you know, take on some responsibilities? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh Lord, y'all. This was a tough one. Because you know these types of arguments, these real deal arguments where you don't want to throw your marriage away, but you're at a place where it's like, what the fuck are we gonna do? What we gonna do? Okay, you want me to change? I'm not changing this time, Randall. Okay, I'm not doing it. And him feeling like he's been doing everything he can and he don't know what to do, and feeling like he hasn't been making her do anything, y'all. It's just y'all, it was a good episode though. I hope y'all enjoyed the recap review. I will be back next week. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and come back. I love y'all. See y'all in the next one.